And we'll only be live for like 20 to 30. So we are live. Yay. Hi, everybody. So exciting to have everyone here. Okay, cool. Say hello if you guys are hopping on, because I want to make sure that comments are working and that we can see you and say hi and we don't ignore you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here with us. Today, we are doing a client spotlight call. So if you guys don't know me and you're not familiar with me, my name is Laura Mazzata. I'm an Akashic healer and teacher. I've also been a therapist in New York for almost 20 years. And I switched entirely over from traditional therapy to Akashic healing at the end of 2020, which is so exciting. And one of the people who made that transition with me was Anita, because it was right in December that I announced that I was no longer doing traditional therapy. So really exciting times for me. And I'm so grateful to have been able to work with Anita in the certification program and to be continuing to work with her in the mastermind program. So exciting. Anita is a portrait photographer, an expert portrait photographer, I will say, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She actually photographed my wedding. And so it's just funny because it was like almost 20 years ago now that she photographed my wedding, and then we reconnected and are on this beautiful journey together. And it's just so cool to see how these relationships can grow over time. So welcome, Anita. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. She's in her fancy schmancy photography studio where she's got like big lights and all sorts of props and stuff going on. Can you tell people about your Pilates machine in the back too?
Well, it's a multi-purpose space, and it kind of all goes together. And depending on when you come, there might be a photo shoot, there might be a Pilates session, there might be people hanging from the ceiling. Who knows? There's always
I know.
going on here.
She's got like the silks that hang from the ceiling too, and there's always a different background when I'm
Yeah.
talking to Anita. Like she's always switching things up. It's so nice. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. We're gonna get started. Let us know if you guys have any questions as we go along. Nothing is off limits. And really what we wanted to do today is just really talk about this journey, right? This journey of starting to understand the Akashic records, getting to really understand how to use them, how they benefit you, how they work with your energy, because this is truly my mission, is to introduce them to as many people as will listen, because they've been absolutely life-changing for me. And Anita has been experiencing the same since she started this journey. So it's really cool to be able to talk about this live with somebody who is fairly new to the journey, right? And was kind of like, oh, this is like, what is going on here? And do I do this path? And so I would love to know, Anita, like when we first reconnected and kind of started talking about this path and the work that we do in the records, where were you? Like, what were the things going through your mind or your field that made you think that this was a potential option for you?
Well, all I knew was that everything that you kept saying on Facebook just resonated with me for some reason. And there's a lot of chatter out there, and I tend to be drawn towards positive thinkers and people who say things that are a little outside the box. But what you were saying just seemed extra sincere and extra heartfelt, and I just wanted to hear more about what you were about. And when you mentioned that you were in the Akashic training method, I had heard about it and really didn't hear a lot of, I didn't really know anything about it besides that it had something to do with accessing like past lives or something. I don't know. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know much about it. And I was like, I just want to hear I just wanted to hear from you what it was, because it seemed interesting to me, but I didn't know anything about it. But for some reason, I just kept being drawn towards things you were saying. And I tend to trust my gut instincts in general. And this seemed to be an extra, it kept just calling my name. And every time I'd see one of your posts or something, I would be like extra interested in it. So that's kind of why I started like talking
Yeah.
to you more about it.
Yeah, no, that's so cool too, because that's how I feel. I feel like the Akashic records truly find us. We don't find them. Like they just keep showing up in our field. And that's what happened to me too. Like I kept getting intrigued by it. I was like, this is interesting. And I'd like know a little bit, and then I'd kind of dip my toe in and be like, I don't know, and because it's the unseen, right? It's an entirely faithful process. And it's a process that also requires some patience, right? With yourself and with learning how to do it and like what clicks and what doesn't click. And so you have to be willing to step into that for sure. And it's worth every single second. But some people are like, no, just like give me a pill and make me feel better about whatever's going on in my life. I don't want to deal with it. And I'm not saying that there isn't a place for that, but what I love so much is just how the records keep showing up in our field until we're finally like, okay, I'll listen to the call. All right. Yeah. So congratulations for listening to the call. So proud of you. So when you entered the program, you started with the certification program, of course. And I would just love to know what the experience itself was like once you started that process.
Well, before the certification program started, you had a 5-day
Oh yeah, invigorate.
Invigorate in December, which was mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I still go back to those notes and look at the things that I worked through at that time. It was just so useful. And the best way I can describe it is you helped uncover blocks and sort of it helped me understand what was feeling like it was holding me back and then look at it, but not in like a judgy way, or it's like it helped me sort of take the emotions off of it and just put it out there and say, what is this? And just be curious and look at it in a couple of different ways and choose, is this something that's meant to be here to teach me something? Or maybe it's something I can put aside and like say thank you for the lesson and keep moving. So that 5-day thing was like a great warm up to the course. But the course itself, like each week, I couldn't wait to get the content and just immerse myself in the just listening to what was happening. And it just seemed like the approach was taking a whole bunch of different viewpoints on that exact thing. Like, what is it that's holding you back or that's bothering you? And sometimes it wasn't something that was happening with me. It started extending out towards people that I knew, or even places or situations or an animal or even a tree. I don't know. I started to feel like myself expanding, and it wasn't just me. It was like the world or like the neighborhood. I don't know. I started to feel like I was becoming bigger. And it wasn't me. It was like I was seeing things in like a broader sense. And you were helping us see it from a different viewpoint, to see that you can see things from a different way and choose a different way of handling it if it's not a way that serves you or that feels sincere.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I also think that's just, as we heighten our consciousness and we expand our vibration, we are more connected to the people and the things and Mother Earth that exist around us. We definitely feel a greater level of connection because we're getting closer and closer to that vibration of true unconditional love, And when that exists, we're all connected, right? I mean, it's the highest vibration. So it's really beautiful that you had that experience. It's true. It's like your aura is expanding. You feel like you just keep getting bigger, but it's like your energy is expanding. Well, the other thing I think that's happened for you is that you noticed that it started to like magnetize people to you. Like people would be like, oh my gosh, this is coming up for me. So can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. Well, in these meditations and this sort of things I would listen to that you would send us, I would go into the meditation time, and sometimes it would be something that would ring true for me, but sometimes I would work through something for somebody else. And then I would end up running into that person the next day, or they'd call me, or I'd get some random message from them. Or it would just be like a topic that seemed to be like from another photographer who wanted to ask me about something they were dealing with that was something I had sort of just been talking and thinking about in the meditation time, that I was able to share the process that I was going through with them. And it, I wrote down in my notes in big capital letters, this is like the ultimate random act of kindness, because I felt like I was able to use what I was learning and help so many people
Oh.
with what I was gaining from this.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That is so beautiful, because that's what I say all the time. Like, I like having mission driven souls as clients, right? And what that means is like those people who are not like, this work is of service. It's entirely of service. And to be able to recognize that, yes, we're doing this to shift ourselves. Yes, we're doing this to expand our experience, but we are also doing this for the good of the people who are connected with us, the people who are going to be potentially connected with us, right? And there's a ripple effect. And so you sitting down in meditation and closing your eyes and doing this work is impacting so many people, and you're serving so many people. It's so amazing how that happens.
Yeah, it is. And
So
it would put
cool.
me in just such a great mood that I would go through the Starbucks drive-through line and buy the coffee for the person behind me, because I was just like, isn't life great? Like,
Exactly.
just feel like come on, everybody. I don't know. It just, I feel like it's been such a wonderful journey, and I'm just grateful that I trusted my instinct to go on this with you, because I feel like the repercussions have been going out and coming back at the same time. Like, it's been powerful.
Oh yeah, you've shifted so much. And one of the things that you said was that, you're always somebody who kind of trusted your gut, right? But that you gained even more confidence with doing so in this program, and also like trusting your gut across different situations, like not just in your home or with your family or with friends or professionally or whatever, but that you feel like it's shifted across the board.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'm kind of like a nice person and like a giving, but where I noticed trusting my gut in setting boundaries was a
Mm,
challenge for me,
yeah.
and boundaries in my own suffering. So
Hmm.
like I tend to be like way too easygoing sometimes with pain or discomfort. Like, I can tough things out.
Yeah.
And I started to realize that I didn't have to do that all the time. Like, I can reschedule something, that things aren't going to fall apart if I don't get something done. Or, I started to realize that I could take care of myself even
Hmm.
better than I was. And also that I can set boundaries in giving of myself in ways that
Hmm.
wasn't always necessary with like social or family obligations and things like that. So
Hmm.
that was a huge revelation, and doesn't make people like me any less, sort of almost
Right.
like helps them respect you even more when you're like, yeah, I just don't want to do that, or that's not going to work that day. Like, it's no big deal.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't do that very often. And also with clients where I would like, I'd see a photo I was trying to take, and they were like, how about if we do this? And sometimes I would try to like figure it out and do it. And I was like, why can't I do this? Now I'm just like, um, no, let's do this other thing, and like scrap it and not feel bad about it, and just be like, yeah, it's just not working. That's okay. Instead of
Yep.
feeling like beating myself up because it's not working. Like, you don't have to, like, I feel like I stopped forcing
Mm.
myself to do things, and instead like allowing, and also
Mm.
just taking a minute. Like, you've taught
Yes.
me sometimes to just be like, sometimes when we be talking and you just say, just let me tune into that for a minute. And I find myself doing that with like a conversation or a client or the dog, whatever. Just, you don't have to just keep like going, oh, yeah, figure this out, figure that out. Sometimes
Right.
you have to be like, even if it is like a rush situation, especially if it is, just tune in for a minute. It doesn't have to be an hour or the rest of the day. It just takes 10 seconds sometimes to just
Hmm.
allow that flow to kind of come into you. And then you can be like, yeah, okay, let's, now you have like a better understanding what's happening.
I love, right. And that's where the clarity came from for you too, right? Because that's exactly it. It's like when we slow our ego down and we take that moment to really tune into our intuition. And the flow is perfect, right? Because that's what comes with practicing it and being consistently in that space. And that's why programs are cool, because every single week you have something to show up for. I know that helped me a lot at the beginning because I needed the accountability. And the Akashic records are a space where, like, if you expose yourself to them consistently, your vibration is consistently, you're getting attuned to that space really frequency wise. And so it's cool because then you are consistently having to really show up. I mean, you don't have to, but you've invested in yourself, right? And it's something that you've decided on and chosen. And so you show up consistently, and then you start to realize, wow, as I expose myself more and more to this space, this is what I see happening. That flow just becomes a part of you, and it becomes more natural, so that when you do tune in, it can be 10 seconds and you're getting the clarity that you're looking for.
Right. And that like
You know?
speeds up a little. Like sometimes you do need an hour to like, but also like
Yeah.
accessing the records in that sort of deep intuitive state. I feel like at the beginning, my goal, I remember I was saying, was to strengthen that muscle, to tune into that intuition. And
Yeah.
by doing it over and over, I feel like now, instead of being like, I need like all afternoon to like chill, like I can just be like, I need, okay, now I can do this. Like, sometimes I just need like a second to get centered. Like I feel like I've strengthened that muscle so that I'm ready to like hit the ground running after I tune in. I just need to like think Akashic. Okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah, one of my clients calls it her Akashic brain. She's like, wait, I got to get my Akashic brain. It's so funny. But I also love that you said that, because I actually forgot about that part, to be honest with you, that when I started working with the records a few years ago, it was after I had been really sick. And that's what I started to notice, is like the more I accessed it, the less time I would not feel well. So like, it was like for a while there, I would need like 3 weeks of taking care of myself, like really full time. And then I'd start to feel better and have a period of stability. And then I would have 2 weeks, then I would have 1 week, And so starting to realize that, like, yeah, there are times that sure, things are going to come up and you're going to need to spend more time in that space. But the more that you also tune into your energy more, you're also knowing all of those little nuanced pieces that you're going to pick up on before it starts to snowball. You know what I mean? That's what's so cool. And so then you can also just like pick yourself up better. Like, we're human, shit's going to happen. We're going to have situations that irritate us or that stress us out. But it's just that memory of like remembering to tune in for just a little bit. Love that. Okay, cool. Thank you, my friend. So the other thing that you were saying was that you've now been able to secure calm in situations that would normally make you nervous. So one of the examples you just talked about was like, if people were saying, I want to do this one pose this way, right? And normally you'd be like, oh, well, I'd feel guilty if I don't do it their way, but it's not working. Are there any other examples that come up?
Oh, well, there's a huge one. I mean, in this span of time, I had like a dream client show up that I didn't expect at all. And I was at this shoot, and this woman who is really super knowledgeable, like in a universal way, suggested posing these dancers in a way that I knew wasn't going to work. And when she just was like, and as she said, can we do this? And I am actually, I remember this moment being like, I think months ago or last year or 2 years, I think I would have just done it her way, thinking, all right, she just knows. I should just, just do whatever she says. And I'm just already getting nervous thinking about it, imagining like how I probably would have handled it then. But because I feel like I practiced so much of just, I was so determined to gain this calm confidence across the board that I knew was going to help me just with everything. In that moment, I felt this sort of deep within power source sort of kick in, and I just stood tall and I said, here's how we're going to do this. And I said it in like a friendly way. And I said, I've found that and I just kind of like explained how it would work better. And somebody videotaped this shoot, and I saw myself on video having this conversation, so I got to relive it again. And I just laughed out loud because I was like, that was ballsy. Like I can't even believe I did that. But it was kind of like, it was because I had done all this like internal work and clearing blocks and thinking about what's the best part of myself and trusting my instincts, and like all that practice like got me ready for that situation. And the pictures I got at that shoot are incredible and like opened the doors to all these other great things and people. And it was a real turning point. So that I definitely credit you in this course. And I'm not making this up or being paid to say this. It's totally from the heart. Like I mean it.
Thank you. Yeah. And I really, that's what I've seen too, is you really stepping into and claiming your authority in that area. Like, I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for decades, and I'm freaking awesome at it, you know? And what I love too is like so when Anita gets messages from the universe, they're like extremely loud and strong. And it was so funny because there was one thing that she had like a doubt about. There was just something that she was doubting. And literally within 2 to 5 days, she got like a giant award and then this huge new job. And I was like, yeah, well, the universe is being very clear that you know what the hell you're doing and responding to that doubt.
It was hilarious. Yes.
That was really funny.
It was like shaking me by the shoulders, like, you know what you're doing.
Exactly. Just trust it, damn it. Oh, I love that. So so exciting. And so so I think that's one of the pieces with professionally that has helped you a lot, is just like stepping into your authority. Is there anything else that you've seen shift just professionally with the work that you've been doing internally? I mean, other than what you've already shared.
You mean like personally, you mean? Or
either?
Oh, well, I remember one time feeling like when I would go into like thinking about all this stuff, and I would feel it sort of gravitating out to other people I know, and then I would see them. I know this, my daughter was feeling a little kaflooey, and you suggested that she needed some balancing in her chakras. And so I was like, I don't know, really? And so I just thought, just for fun, I would just sit and think about it just for a minute. Like, and it was like a minute. I sat and closed my eyes, and I just imagined like those rainbow chakra colors and how they connect, and like her spine. And I just sort of like sent love there. And I was like, of course I want them balanced. And like, I want her to be happy and balanced, of course, you know. And I just was like this little quick thing. And the next morning, she said, you know what, Mommy? I had the best dreams last night. She was like, I don't even remember them, but I just was like,
exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And it only took me a minute.
And like, I didn't like have to do any sort of official anything. I just thought about it, and it was just intention. It was love and intention and just a little visualization. And so now I just feel like I just do that every chance I get. Anytime I feel like somebody needs it, I feel like zap.
Exactly. Zap. It's like you got your superpowers. Well, and that's what's so neat about this work too, is that at the beginning it can feel like, okay, like what is it can be a little confusing at first, because it's like, all right, because you're accessing this totally different realm of consciousness that doesn't operate the way the human brain does. And so you're learning a relationship, just like if you met somebody new, you're learning how to communicate and how to work with this energy. And then you start to notice, like for me, the results are what sucked me in, because the results spoke for themselves. Like I didn't understand it yet. I wasn't even getting a ton of downloads yet, but I saw the results in myself and other people. And so what's so cool is that as you continue to practice it, this is how your life then becomes so freaking easy, right? Because like you said, you can just tap into it at any moment, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and be able to access your superpowers, you know?
Yeah. And that's definitely the benefit that I saw coming from the course. Because at first I was like, am I going to become an Akashic Records healer? Like, am I being called to this because that's something I'm going to offer? But I don't feel like that's officially what I was
Right.
called into this for. I feel like I just have a strong intuitive sense, and I needed to learn how to just access it more quickly and easily so that I can use it in my already life.
Yes,
So I feel
exactly.
like it could be a course that could be for people who just want to get really good at that skill and intuition and gut instinct sort of connection.
For sure. Yeah. And I have a whole mix, I have people who are just like super, I want my business. I'm creating my business. That's what I'm doing this for, and some people who are like, don't even talk to me about that. Like, no, thank you. I'm just doing this for myself. And you know what? Honestly, they don't just do it for themselves, as we talked about earlier, right? It's a ripple effect, but the vast majority of them also want to use this for their animals, their children, their families, their loved ones, their friends, just people in their network. It doesn't have to just be, oh, if I don't want to do this for a living, I shouldn't do it, because it's truly, I was on a call with one of the students who had graduated. I think she graduated, I think, a month ago or something. And we still had one call left. So we were chatting and she just started to cry. And she's like, you have no idea how much this has changed my life. Like, it's completely changed my life. Like, goals that she had set for herself for literally decades and never met. She's like, I will forever be grateful for this program. And it just, that's what brings me to tears and warms my heart, is just knowing that, like, the more people that know this and can share this with more people, they then get to feel that way. And then those people get to feel that way. And this is how we help people heal and help this planet be happier and more collaborative. Um, so is there anything else that you would share that you think is notable from your experience? Like, if you don't have anything, I'll offer you a question too, to help you, but just like anything that you would recommend to other people to do, like right now, if they want to transform their lives, if they're in a spot where they're doubting or they're skeptical about this or just anything in their lives, or they feel stuck, what would you recommend?
Well, I think the timing of that question right
Mm,
now, I'm sensing that a lot of people are nervous. Things are opening up more, and the end of the school year, I find, tends to make me feel drawn in a lot of different directions with end of year things and graduations, and summer's coming and maybe a trip needs to be planned. Like, I feel like
right.
this time of year, I feel more busy than normal, as combined with the pandemic changes, opening or whatever. Um, and a good talk that I had with a friend last night was like, try not to lose that sense of yourself that you gained by having all that
Mm,
open time in the past year, because
mhm.
it would be really easy to clutter it all up and
Yeah.
lose that like sense of self that we got in having a lot more family time, quality time together, and just kind of letting the world sort of suck us back into busyness or things. So that's my declaration to the universe. Don't
I
forget
love
that.
that. No, I love that so much, because it's really, for me, it's about spaciousness, right? And it's about, like, I can't tell you the number of clients that I have seen that are just like, I started to realize maybe I'm actually an introvert, or maybe actually there's so many things that I used to do before the pandemic that I was doing out of obligation or that didn't totally light me up. And I find myself, when my friends are saying, let's go do this or let's go do that, me saying, I actually don't know if I want to. And so I think the pandemic itself, screw the Akashic Records, the pandemic itself has also just helped people identify, like, what lights you up and what are you doing because you feel like you should, or you're supposed to, or you're walking on eggshells because you don't want to piss people off? So I
Right.
love that message. Thank you. That's beautiful. So cool. So thank you guys so much for joining us, whether you're here live or on the replay. And we've just loved having this chat today. It's been so nice. And just spending time together in the records, and especially with you guys being together with us, it amplifies the impact of these shifts and this energy. And there's currently 3 spots available in the certification program. So I'll drop the link for you guys if you want to take a look. If you have questions about it, let me know. And you can also just pop questions in the comments too and tag me and I can answer them for you. But thank you so much for being here, Anita.
Thanks for having me. Let me know if you guys have any questions for me too, because, having been through it, I think that like taking it in bite-sized pieces was really great. And just, I couldn't wait to get the next week's content, but you can kind of do it and some people kind of did took it taking a little longer. I couldn't wait to go through it. Everybody can kind of do it at their own pace, I guess, but.
Well, and some people go faster. Like there's been actually 2 people that have been certified over the course of the program that they reach out to me and they're like, okay, I need you to send me all the modules now. Like, I just want to do them. I'm like, okay. And so I sent them all the modules. I know, but that's a lot. Like that's why I send them out once a week for the digital ones. And then we have our group coaching calls, because the integration time is so important. And that's not something that I really, that came naturally to me at the beginning, because I would be like, all the things, I want all the things, because I was very excited about it. But I saw the changes and I was so excited, but it's not good for us to go too fast, and it's a patient process. And if we have any kind of things, doubt being one of them, that continues to come up in our lives, like it's there because it's coming to your attention because it wants to be released. Like it doesn't want to settle in as a part of you, like we want to be able to move this energy and be able to feel like our best selves. So anyway, I hope everybody has a lovely, wonderful weekend. It's supposed to be a beautiful spring weekend, so I hope everybody enjoys it. And thanks again for joining me, Anita, and we will see you very, very soon.